Do you want to learn about how you can use the power of the 4P's to help yourself be happier, healthier, and much more able to cope with life? Well, if you do, please keep watching this video where I'll be explaining all about it. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Tricia Maitland and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and coach practicing in Bath, UK and online. And I'm really passionate about helping my clients reduce their anxiety, improve their sleep and grow their confidence and motivation so that they can create the life that they deserve to live. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you can be notified when I release a new video every week. So why are these 4P's important? Well, from a neuroscience perspective, when we incorporate these 4P's into our life, we produce a neurotransmitter called serotonin. And it's one of the key chemicals that helps us be happy. It helps us be brave, it helps us cope, it helps us live our lives in our best way. And so let's begin by talking about these amazing, powerful 4P's. And the first one I want to talk about is positive activity. Now, when I say positive activity, you're probably thinking exercise. And if you are, you're correct. So our physical bodies are just like back when we were in caveman or cavewoman days. And our ancestors moved a lot. They moved about 10 hours a day. And so we need to move as well. And that could be exercise classes, it could be going for a walk, it could be cleaning your home vigorously if that's your thing. So it's just about figuring out what works for you. And when we're restricted, like we're in lockdown, we have to think about different ways to do this. So as an example, I know this amazing exercise instructor called Zita of Zest Boot Camp, and she normally does her sessions at this amazing, at Alexandra Park, which has got this amazing views looking over Bath. But now she's gone online and all of her members do online sessions. Or I've got an amazing local yoga teacher called Sarah from Sentia Yoga, and she does free online sessions. So there's lots of different ways that you can find to be able to help you to move and get the exercise you need that's going to produce the serotonin that's going to help you be happier. Other sort of positive activities are things like hobbies. Again, you can't maybe do all of the hobbies that you normally would, but what else can you do? I know people who've really gotten into knitting or doing some art or doing other hobbies. Could even be bird watching on your own. You know, there's lots of different things that you can do, whether we've got no restrictions or whether we've got restrictions, that you can have those positive activities and bring them into your day. And so the second P is positive interactions. Now again, as I've said, we're just like our cavemen or cavewoman ancestors, and they were much happier when they existed in a tribe, when they were providing for their tribe, when they were working together to achieve common goals. They were much happier, and we're the same. Now again, in normal times, we can be going out a lot more, we can be going out with groups of friends, we could be sitting in a coffee shop, we could be, you know, I like going to my networking group, for example, but we can't do all of those things. So it's about how do we get our interactions if we are in a lockdown or if we have constraints. So it's obviously there's, you know, going online and having Zoom chats with friends. I've got a client who is meeting up with a really good friend, grabbing a takeaway coffee and going for a walk along one of the canals in Bath. It could be going with one other friend to a local beauty spot and going for a walk. It's finding ways where you can bring those interactions in, understanding that we might have constraints we have to deal with. So definitely positive interactions is really, really important. Again, it's going to give you that serotonin boost. Now on to the third of our powerful P's, and the third P is our positive thoughts or our positive thinking. And I find what's really interesting is this is often the most difficult one for clients, particularly when I start working with them, because often we kind of can get into a bit of a negative spiral, but our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts create our reality. What we think, we experience, and this is why thinking more positively and training yourself to think more positively, particularly if we're going through challenging times, although it could be difficult, it actually is really, really important. And one of the ways that I I share with my clients or suggest to my clients is having or keeping a gratitude journal. Now, it might seem a bit strange, like how can this help me to write down what's been good or what I'm grateful for, or what I'm so happy to have achieved that day. The reason why this is really powerful is that you're training yourself to look for the positives in your life, to look for what you're grateful for. The other thing is that it's obviously when you're reflecting and thinking about the good things, you're producing serotonin, you're giving yourself that boost. And interestingly, research has shown that when people keep even a weekly gratitude journal, it doesn't have to be a daily one, but a weekly one, what they found is over a few months, they found that the people who did keep a gratitude journal were happier, reported less physical issues, they exercised more regularly, they were much more inclined to work towards their goals, and they were also more kind of altruistic and giving to others. So a gratitude journal is a really good way to create those positive thoughts. Another way is having positive mantras, and it could be just something that inspires you or you've read or a quote or something like that, where if you reflect on that, it could also give you enough time to move from a negative thought and start thinking more positively. So, that's another kind of tool in the toolkit. Okay, so the fourth and last P is purpose. And what I mean by purpose is it doesn't mean having a purpose like you're going to cure world hunger or be the president of your company. Purpose is about having meaning. It's about finding meaning in your life. And again, it doesn't have to be your life's purpose that you want to achieve at the end of your life. It could be about what's giving your life purpose and meaning now. And the reason why this is really important is, in normal good times, we can, it's all fine. But if we're going through difficult times, if we're going through changes, if we're in lockdown where perhaps we're not able to do our job or run our business, we have to make sure that we're creating meaning and purpose in our lives right now. And a lovely example I have of this is a podcast I was listening to called The Good Life Project. And the guests that they had on that week, it was a gentleman who was talking about change and how often when we have big life events and things that are happening to us, they come in multiples. There's not just like one thing. Often there's lots of things you have to deal with. And this guy, Bruce, he was talking about how all of a sudden he had to deal with, he was diagnosed with cancer, his business was almost going bankrupt, and also his father had Parkinson's disease. Now the thing with Parkinson's disease is that it can affect your dopamine levels, and dopamine is also another one of those happiness hormones. And so his father's dopamine levels were reducing, and what that meant is that he was feeling suicidal. And I think he tried to commit suicide 6 times in 12 weeks or something, terrible like that. And so Bruce was kind of at his wit's end about what to do about this. And so what he did is he asked his father a question. It was something like, tell me about the house you grew up in, or tell me about your first pet. And so what his father did is he went away, and he couldn't write at this point, but he could transcribe. And so he transcribed and answered this question. And at the end of the week, he gave Bruce a page answering this question. And so that kicked off a process where every Monday, Bruce would give his father a question, tell me about how you met mum, tell me about your first job, tell me about your friends at school. And at the end of the week, his father would answer that question and give him a page. And so 5 years later, his father's still alive for one, but also by doing that, it gave his life purpose. And he's written, I think it's 50,000 words, memoir on his life. And I feel a bit emotional talking about it now because I just think that's just so amazing and touching. But it just goes to show that he helped his father bring meaning into his life. And so even if you're going through difficult times, it's about finding that purpose and meaning for you. So there you have it, those powerful 4 P's, which are, just to recap, our positive activities, our positive interactions, our positive thinking, and finding purpose. And I'd love you to share in the comments below what in particular you found useful, or perhaps if you have some interesting tips that you can share, because I'm sure that would really be helpful for anyone who's watching. So if you liked this video, give me a like below, subscribe, or share with anyone who you think could bring some 4P power into their day. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.